Let me talk straight, because what's happening on TikTok right now is one of the nastiest displays of betrayal, hypocrisy, and selective accountability. And Candy, sadly, is the one paying for everybody else's ego. Let's start at the root. Rosalie and Donia had their argument, two grown adults, but instead of dealing with Donia, Rosalie dragged Candy into the mess, called her name in a disrespectful way, and then acted shocked when Candy responded. And guess what? Candy had every right to defend her name because nobody called Rosalie's name first. She forced herself into it. Then fast forward to Rebel's party, and this part is not rumor. It's not viewers said. It's not speculation. Rosalie herself confessed on her live that she called Candy suckwood not once, twice. Candy also stated it, and other people who were right there at the event confirmed the same thing. And even with all that disrespect flying, you know what Candy did? She didn't answer. She stayed calm. She didn't take the bait. Then after the event, when everybody was outside in the parking lot, Rosalie reportedly walked past Candy's car and pushed her hand inside like she was trying to provoke a fight. Candy still kept her composure, and somehow the internet is trying to flip the story onto the girl who was minding her business. Make it make sense? Now let's deal with Rebel, because this right here cut deep. Just days before the event, Candy was at Rebel's house cooking, bonding, vibing, talking sisterhood, showing pure love. So when things went left at the party, Rebel had a chance to be neutral, be fair, and call out wrong for what it is. But instead, she went live with Rosalie, the same person who provokes the entire situation. How'd that work? When Rebel addressed the issue, she wasn't holding Rosalie accountable at all. She was shifting the energy onto Candy, getting loud and upset with the wrong person. Why? Because Candy said she felt betrayed because people reportedly knew Rosalie had intentions to trouble her and didn't warn her. Tell me how the girl who was being blindsided is suddenly the villain. How the victim become the aggressor. How the bullied girl become the one getting the blame. Let's talk about the performance too. When Candy touched the stage, a real recording artist, she had to fight for her moment, fight for the mic, fight through the energy. And right after her, they gladly put on Slug Lord, who is not even an artist. Meanwhile, Rebel claims Candy is her friend. So you can cook with her at home, bond with her, laugh with her. But when it's time to give her a fair performance slot, suddenly you forget she exists. Interesting. And it's your event. And then there's the next part, the part that made the entire internet stop. Rosalie on live saying she was going to Dolly Sundays and talking about acid. A whole alleged acid threat said loud and bold. Sitting right next to her was who? Swiss Lee, Rebel's man. And he said nothing. Never corrected her, never shut it down. The straight man never said, nah, that's too far. But Rebel had all the energy for Candy. Loud, aggressive, defensive, upset. Where was that energy for Rosalie? Where was that energy when the disrespect was going towards someone who actually loves and supports you? Let me tell you what this is. This is betrayal. This is selective outrage. This is favoritism. This is hypocrisy. Candy is young. She's talented. Uno 10 years and so the girl senior. Yeah? She loves hard. She supports hard. And she clearly rated people who do not rate her back. And you could hear the pain in her voice because she realized in real time that the people she thought were her circle were never her circle. But hear what? Candy is moving smart. She's choosing peace. She's choosing to stay away from places where people's bad intentions are awaiting for her. She has her daughter to live for. She has her career. She has her future. She's not stepping into any trap. And honestly, good for her. Meanwhile, Rosalie is the one dragging chaos everywhere she goes. Hotel incidents, outbursts that led to CDA taking her kids, provocations, disrespect of her fans, no acid threats on live, and people just sitting beside her letting it slide. Let's call it what it is. Candy didn't start this. Candy didn't escalate this. Candy didn't provoke this. But she's the one paying the price for other people's ego, insecurity, and jealousy. This whole situation exposed exactly who is real, who is fake, who is loyal, who is performing for the internet, and who only holds people accountable when it's convenient. And before I wrap this up, let me address one more thing that cannot be ignored. Last year at Rebel's own event, when that whole situation went down with Ramesh, TJ, and Moya, violence happened, a couple was attacked, and Rebel never came online with the same fire. She never said, you, Ramesh, you mess up my event. She never pointed fingers. She never held Ramesh publicly accountable with the same energy. But now with two young women, one of them being Candy, who didn't even fight, who wasn't even the aggressor, and who didn't ruin the event at all, suddenly Rebel has energy, attitude, and outrage. So accountability only works when it's convenient? Only when it's someone with less power? Only when it fits the narrative you want to push? Because when it was Ramesh, silence. But when it's Candy, full performance mode. That's the part people need to pay attention to. And it's very distasteful and disgusting. And someone has to say it and call it out. So guess what? Zandrama did.